Good afternoon to all the participants. I, Krishan Arora, partner Grant Thornton Bharat, warmly welcome you all to our webinar session on overview of PLI scheme for pharmaceutical sector. Speaking of the pharma industry, globally India ranks at third position in terms of pharmaceutical production by volume and 14th by value. Domestic pharma industry includes a network of 3,000 plus drug companies, 10,000 plus manufacturing units. India is also largest provider of generic drugs and supplies over 50% of global demand of various vaccines, 40% of generic demand in US, and 25% of medicine supplies in UK. However, India faced a huge shortage of bulk drugs, which form basic raw material for the pharma industry during the COVID-19 time, which encouraged Government of India to take steps to boost the domestic production of bulk drugs, APIs, medical devices, and bulk drugs intermediaries for pharmaceutical industry. PLI scheme for pharma sector was first launched in July 2020 to meet the increasing demand of the raw material of the country. The proposal was primarily to push domestic manufacturing of bulk drugs, active pharmaceutical ingredients, APIs. This alone was aimed to provide about 6,940 crore production linked incentives to the domestic drug manufacturers. The main motive of the scheme was to minimize the dependence on China for pharmaceutical raw materials. In the pharmaceutical formulation sector, where India stands at a comfortable position, in pharma drugs sector, India is still far behind as per the requirement of the bulk drugs for formulation industry, and these bulk drugs compound of 65% of the total APIs imported as of date. The government promised many attractive benefits in form of PLI schemes that are maximum about 20% to 5% for certain type of categories. The PLI incentives were given for a period of 6 years from the start of the production of these stipulated drugs and medical devices. And in round one, apart from these, they were also setting up medical schemes for setting up medical device parks, where a notified 1,800 crore PLI scheme was initiated for promoting domestic manufacturing of medical devices. Scheme for bulk drugs manufacturing parks was also introduced, and the government also notified this scheme for selected parks where financial assistance was provided up to 70 to 90% of the project cost of the common infrastructure facilities. In round two, subsequently in November 2020, the Union Cabinet gave approval to introduce PLI schemes in 10 key sectors for enhancing India's manufacturing capabilities and enhancing exports, in line with the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat. This time, several sectors was included in the core sector list of the PLI scheme, as also again, pharmaceuticals industry round two was also announced in July 2020. As India pharmaceutical industry is poised to be one of the top contributors in the basket of exports, it is in the league of biggest manufacturers of generic medicines and top generic medicines supplies to large countries like US and Britain, as I mentioned earlier. Having understood the importance and interest generated in the last PLI scheme in 2020, the government further announced this PLI scheme for the sector entailing an outlay of 15,000 crores. This scheme will further benefit domestic manufacturers, help create employment, and is expected to contribute an availability of a wider range of affordable medicines for consumers. The duration of the scheme would be from FY 2021 to 2029 and is expected to promote production of high-value products in the country and increasing the value addition in exports. The scheme is also expected to generate about 20,000 direct jobs, 80,000 indirect employment for both skilled and unskilled personnel as a result of the growth which is expected in the sector. This PLI scheme is expected to promote innovation for development of complex and high-tech products, including products of emergent therapies, in vitro diagnostic services, as also self-reliance in important drugs. It is also expected to improve accessibility and affordability of medical products, including orphan drugs, to the Indian population. One of the further objectives of the scheme is to create global champions out of India who have the potential to grow in size and scale using cutting-edge technology and thereby penetrate the global value chains.
So who can apply in this scheme? Who are the applicants? So any applicant who are registered in India can apply this scheme. So the constitution of the company or of the applicant can be company, LLP, or proprietor, anybody. So, but they have to be registered in India, and the manufacturing of the eligible products which are listed down in the scheme have to be manufactured in India. That is the basic criteria of any applicant who is looking to apply for this scheme. who is going to be eligible? So there are guidelines which have been laid under the scheme. The basic two guidelines are: one, we need to have incremental sales. There has to be a minimum committed investment. So that is the basic premise of eligibility of any applicant who is applying for the scheme. So for all categories, it is different criteria, different minimal investment which is required, and minimal sale increment which is required. There are three categories of applicants which the government has identified for pharma sector. One is large players, mid-sized players, and small players. Then small players, also there is a bifurcation between MSMEs. Now, having spoken about the categorization and the eligibility, we'll see that what all products the government has given under the scheme. So again, there are three categories where the products have been divided. So first category is, of course, complex generic drugs, patented drugs, or the drugs which are nearing the patent expiry, etc. So the other drugs which are seen in this list, which are high value products. These are very complex products which are there. So even under B category, it is APIs, KSMs, and other drug intermediaries, which are the products which were not covered under the previous PLI scheme, which had come in 2020. That every category, because there is a 11,000 crores outlay in the category A, so what they have told that there will be maximum 11 applicants who will be selected under this category. So in the large players, only 11 will be selected. Out of that, 4 can be MNCs, and rest 7 will be Indian companies. So that is very clear, which is there as per the ceiling. And every applicant out of that 11,000 crores kitty will get 1,000 crores. That is the highest incentive what they can get. And similarly, if we go to category B, where the criteria is 500 crores to 5,000 crore companies, there will be only 9 applicants. Out of that, maximum 3 will be MNCs. So they are saying maximum does not mean 3 has to be there. It does not imply that there can be less than 3, but not they will not exceed more than 3. That is what the intent of the government is. They want to encourage domestic manufacturing players. They want to encourage domestic brands to go out of India and export more and more pharma products. So similarly, incentive ceiling is 250 and plus 20% comes to 300. That will be additional incentive, whatever these companies will be eligible for. Last category is C category, where there will be 35 applicants. So maximum applicants are coming, while the outlay is only 1750 crores. So out of which 20 will be MSMEs. So they are giving lot of importance to MSMEs. They want to encourage small players, small pharma companies to grow big and in a very and contribute to the GDP and the foreign exchange of the government kitty. So that is why they are encouraging MSMEs. So 20 MSMEs out of 35 are falling under this category who will get the incentive. So this is the fixation or the ceilings what they have put to the incentive that will be given to each category of applicant.
Filing an application for PLI scheme is a gigantic task. We have already experienced a number of times. So because it includes preparation of lot many documents, internal discussions, deliberations, approvals, along with approvals from legal team. So applicant must investigate different aspects of the application, like information to be submitted in prescribed format, along with documents like projections for sale or investment plan with appropriate assumption with reasonable assurance to achieve committed target, either based on orders in hand or forecasted demand. Similarly, other documents like first financial modeling capturing growth rate of the company from last few years and future forecast. Second is production capacity of the factory and corresponding utilization as on date for the factory. Third is employment generation data based on industry trend vis-a-vis company's own trend. Fourth is plan for import substitution. Fifth is action steps for introduction of new technology. And sixth is statutory certificate certifying the sales. So it's a massive documents. I have just given the headings. Underlying tail is lot many documents. Applicant is also required to submit certain undertakings mentioning that they are not into any defaulter list applicant also need to submit non-refundable security deposit based on category A, B, C, as Karan has mentioned. So they are in which they are participating in the scheme. So all such aspects needs to be taken care of while preparing the data. At the time of screening, all such assumptions will be discussed, and we should be ready with all such kind of numbers. PMA, that is the nodal agency, will review the application and inform the applicant within 15 days whether the application is complete or not. And another 15 days window will be given to complete the application wherever any document has been missed out. Post that, PMA will give acknowledgement, and if they find applicant a suitable person, they will recommend the applicant to ministry. So that is the overall application process divided into multiple stages. To claim incentive, that is the ultimate goal for this PLI. Detail to be given like investment made in particular year, CAGR achieved, employment generated, etc. So PMA will also ask different certificate to verify claim like chartered engineer certificate, statutory auditor certificate, etc. PMA will approve the claim within 60 days and make appropriate recommendation to DOP for disbursement. If the claims is in order, then 75% amount will be released upfront and 25% will be released post submission of final audited accounts of the company. So do let us know in case you need our support. We are equipped to provide end-to-end support, starting from collecting information, preparation of projections, filing of application, follow-up for order, as well as getting claims.